Hello, everyone. Eilers-Heffner, Sapphire Ambassador. So excited to be with you and to share with you something that just lays heavily on my heart and seems to be something that just comes up over and over again is when people are like, I'm busy, or I have kids, or I work, or I have this, or I have that, and they just need help with ideas on how to organize their schedule and their priorities so they can carve out the time for their Plexus business. So I have lots of notes and I'm already out of words for the day. So that's fun. But if you are willing to hang in there and bear with me, we're going to have a great call. So I had come across some quotes that were just really inspiring to me, and I wanted to share those really quick. And so it says, you're not behind. You're building a business with one hand and keeping tiny humans alive with the other. That's not slow, that's savage. And that's true. So I feel like a lot of us started when our kids were younger, or maybe new people are starting with little kids. And that even if I'm not keeping tiny humans alive, I'm keeping nearly full-size humans alive. And that is savage to be able to accomplish a lot of things in a day, right? Or in a year, in a lifetime. Some days will feel like chaos, some will feel like magic. Both are part of the process, and don't let either one make you doubt your potential. And this is so true too. Like we have a bad day and we think, "Oh my gosh, I like this just I can't do this business. I can't be successful here," or something like that. And that's just simply not true. Um, you don't have a bad day with your kids or your spouse and go, "Okay, well, I'm done with that one. Let Send it back, drop that one off at the fire station." No, like you realize, what can I learn from this experience? Some days are going to be chaotic, some days are going to be crazy, and that's true in anything. That's good, true in any profession, it's true in any business endeavor, it's true in any brick and mortar, and it holds true here too. But that doesn't mean we don't have potential. It totally means we have the potential, and that's why we do calls like this, is so we can arm you with the tools that are going to help you feel and be more successful. You're not just raising babies, you're raising a bar. So take a breath and get back to it. You were made for this. And you're not building just a business, you're building the freedom framework, one nap time, one brave move at a time. So maybe it's not our kids' nap time anymore. Maybe it's our nap time that we take to recharge and then move forward. But we are just building that business one freedom framework at a time. And I loved that. So those I just had to share. I saved those. And then if you can take a minute, I'm going to take you down a little bit of a memory lane, um, because I want to paint this picture for you. So several years ago, I was seeing an integrative doctor. Finally, I was like resistant to going to any doctors for all of my pain. I felt like a 90-year-old lady. I started having pain when I was pregnant with my now 15-year-old. So it's been about 16 years of discomfort in my feet, my ankles, my hands, my wrists. And there was this time when, and I can't remember if I'd already started with some natural healing options and stuff. I'm pretty sure I was. And I just was so exhausted and just felt horrible and felt like I didn't have enough hours in the day to just take care of my kids. I worked on the weekends. And I remember I was FaceTiming with my parents for some reason. I didn't, probably because the kids wanted to see them or they wanted to see the kids. And my dad was very quiet. He was like very steady, very quiet. And he kind of was like, we've raised these kids, they're adults, they'll figure out their lives. He wasn't really like involved. Like he helped if we're like, hey, dad, can you help with this? Can you help with that? Or come over and have dinner or whatever. Yes, of course. But he just kind of was like, they'll figure it out. And he said to my mom, like, she does not look good. Like, she doesn't look good. She doesn't look okay. I swear they almost got in their car and came over to my house. And for my dad to say, wow, she really doesn't look good, I really didn't look good. And um, I just was struggling, I was in pain, I was struggling, I was trying to heal my body naturally, and I was doing paleo stuff. I was seeing this integrative doc. I was, trying different supplements and reading all the time and cooking every stitch of food from scratch. and doing all the grocery shopping and the house cleaning and working on the weekends in a hospital, like physical work, and all laundry. I had 4 kids, and my husband was in school getting a second degree, and he was at working at our church, and just we were just so busy. And I was already like, wow. And honestly, I started Plexus, and I did get very good results. Obviously, that's why I so stand by it. And we talked about this last week on call. And I also detox that I didn't like play up too much last week, but I did detox. And so it almost was encouraging that I was detoxing because I'd already done some vitamins. I'd already done these natural things, and had some improvement, but I wasn't detoxing from them. So I'm like, well, if these things are helping me detox, they have to be, then they're working. Like I actually am having these physical detox signs. So it has to be working. And I wasn't all the way healed, but I saw our jewels and our diamonds posting about the trips, the Hawaii, the Lexuses. I saw convention and I was like, what is that? Sign me up. I thought it looked so cool. And I still think convention is so cool. And I used to stand outside the Jewel Lounge and go, let me in. Those are my people. Like, I belong in there. And I want some champagne. Like, I love champagne. And I would just like stare in there, and I would peek around and like beg for my Jewel friends to like drag me in there for a minute, because like you can bring a guest in there and stuff. And oh my gosh, love the Jewel Lounge. So I saw these things, and I wasn't all the way healed, and I was still detoxing, and I was still working full time and still managing a house. And you know what? I got a bigger plate because I was like, I need something that can bring money in, that if my body does decide to fail and I can't do this physical job, I need some way to make money. That was motivating. Um, I wanted to be able to work how I wanted to work in my career. And I worked a job that I did enjoy, but I always wanted to work with kids. And I like kids and old people, so that it wasn't horrible working in the hospital, but the hours were terrible. The working the weekends was not ideal. Um, but when I was home, I was a stay-at-home mom. Those 4 days I was home, or 3 days I was home during the week, like I was a mom. I felt like stay-at-home mom. I felt like so blessed that I could put my kids on the bus or be home with the ones that were home or whatever it was. And I just figured it out. I'm like, okay, how can I make this work? So instead of just folding the laundry, I would listen to a training call while I was folding the laundry. I would get more intentional about the kids. My oldest daughter, not because of Plexus, but because of her telling me, no, I'm not going to help you. She earned the task of doing her own laundry at 7 years old, pretty young. And she needed help and guidance. But you know what? She did it. I would fold what I was folding, and I'd sit there and help her fold hers or encourage her to fold hers, right? Like it was something that definitely got handed off to her. And I told my husband, I'm done doing I don't even think I told him. I just quit doing his laundry. I we would do things together. If the kids were in the bath, I cleaned the sink, vanity, mirror, toilet. Like, then they splash enough out. You take a dirty towel, wipe up the floor's mopped. I mean, I was just down to business about how can I make this the most effective and efficient way to get things done. My kids were with me. We had time together. And then I could use these times of, oh, I can listen to a training video. They're playing, I'm folding laundry or whatever. I'm still 100% available to them. I don't need to pretend play every minute of the day with them. But if they're like, I want to show you this, or I need to go to the bathroom and I need help, or whatever it was, pause the video and I'm available to my kids, right? You just figure it out. And I also like probably if I could sit like a student and take notes of every video, would have probably gotten a little bit more out of that, right? Let's be real. But also, let's be real. I didn't want to sit and exclude my children and exclude my family. I wanted to absorb what I could and put it into practice and be with them at the same time. And I couldn't do that as a PT. If I wanted to make more money as a PT, I would have had to have found a babysitter, had meals ready for my kids, leave my house, make more laundry for myself because you don't wear scrubs to a nursing home and not come home and take them off immediately. Um, do the paper, learn a new paperwork system, all the things, right? Like I'd have been gone 2, 3, 4 hours, paying a babysitter for 4 hours. Like that didn't make sense, right? And I just kept like pushing to figure out other ways of doing things and making it work. So we took our framework of having a flow of the day. So meal times, awake times, nap times, like they woke up at the same time every day, they napped at the same time every day, and we ate at the same times every day, roughly. And so because those times were set, then we had a flow of our day in between there. After we had breakfast, we go for a walk. That was pretty much a daily thing. And if you have little ones right now and it's as as the weather changes, take your little kids outside, bundle them up, bundle yourself up because the payoff is 1,000-fold. My kids to this day don't mind being out in the cold. They bundle up. They still like to go explore in the cold. Like it just has paid itself off. I used to send them outside in the backyard and watch from my kitchen, and they're out there crawling around for 2 hours. Like telling you, like it is so worth it to get them outside every day, no matter what. Um, and we had lots of quality time. So like okay, it's reading time. We're going to read together. Okay, now you're going to play Play-Doh and I'm going to sit here on my computer. So these two are napping. These two are, playing Play-Doh or playing trains, whatever I directed, because that way I could control where they were in my house and I could be working. And again, they need something. I'm right there. Okay, let me finish talking to Susie. Yes, what do you need? Right? Like you just work your work into your day and take those intentional breaks to make it work. Um, Delegating more to my husband, delegating more to my kids. I mean, by the time the boys were 7, 8, they were managing the trash and taking it out to the road, right? They can do that. Those trash bins are big, but they can work together, which today is trash day. They need to remember that. Got CDs from the library of our book club, John Maxwell on CD, popped it in my car, right? Now we have it so easy because you can get a lot of free things on Audible format and you can use the Audible app, all of that. I used tuck-ins. I'd tuck in, and when we had calls like this, I would tuck my kids in and take my phone with me with the headphones and just go from kid to kid to kid. Every other night they got read to. Every other night they, had more snuggles and more undivided attention, but I still was able to tuck them in and be on the call. You just make it work. And like Zoom is Zoom. This isn't like highly stimulating, like showing them some fast moving video game right before bed, right? Like you're talking to people. There's one person on the screen. They're not going to be like, "Ooh, I can't miss that." They'll usually calm right down. Um, I'm just checking all my notes, people. And then I just really, so like fast forward, I retired myself from working weekends. And due to some situations of needing health insurance, I'm working Monday through Friday. And I work with kids, so I get to do what I love. And I play with kids. Like I have the best job. I work in the schools, a PT, and I play with kids all day long. Paperwork, dealing with some adults, that's not always super fun, but it's just part of it and you get through it. And I just have the best job, right? And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I have two careers that I love, Plexus and being a PT. And now it's been extremely busy with cross country. So get up, go to the gym, come home, get ready, go to work. I do IPA for 30 minutes at my lunch break. I have 1 hour after work before practice. I was coaching cross country. 1 hour before practice would start, and then I'd have time in the evening after we would get home and eat dinner and all the things, 9 o'clock at night, 9:30 at night, finishing up anything else that need to be finished up. That's how you do it. You figure out those little windows and you make it work. Audible for book club, on in the car. Calling my team in the car. That's just what I did. So if you work full time outside of the home, you can still schedule in your IPA. Totally can make it happen. How to do these things, right? So I just really recommend brain dumping. I think we talk about this frequently, but brain dump every day, brain dump every night before you go to bed, brain dump every morning, brain dump once a week. Figure out what works for you. You get to decide what works for you. Get your brain dump out, and then you can decide which things are a priority. And this is called the Eisenhower matrix of urgent and important, important, not urgent. I should try and, I don't, this is just my scribble. Urgent, but not important. So these are things that can be delegated. And then not urgent and not important. So either eliminate it or save it for later. So I say these are the examples I thought of. Urgent, not urgent, and not important. Matching socks, folding towels, folding washcloths, folding a fitted sheet, for God's sakes. Do you know how I fold them now? I literally ball it up. I don't care. Like, yes, just know it. My fitted sheets are wrinkled. I don't care. I actually, what I try to do is take the sheets off, wash them, and put them back on. So then there's no folding involved there either. Important but not urgent is stuff like doing the dishes, vacuuming, groceries, right? Like, yes, you do need to get groceries. There needs to be a plan. But if you're planning on a regular basis, that's not always an urgent thing unless you're going out of town and you're leaving your kids and now you have to leave food for them, right? Like that's more urgent. But generally speaking, that's something that is important and we can get to it and make it a priority, but it's not, has to be done right then. I feel like urgent and important are, this is funny, keeping the bathrooms clean. That's because that's ew. Um, keep cooking, like making the meal for people to eat, like people are hungry. So we need to be feeding and taking care of ourselves. Doctor's appointments can be urgent and important, right? Like depending on what's going on. And our IPA. Our IPA every day should be under that urgent and important category. I think urgent, but not as important. I honestly put dinner there, making dinner, because anyone in my house at this point can do that, right? Do my smaller, younger, not small, younger kids maybe need extra guidance or help with that? Sure. But it is something that technically can be delegated to at least 3 other people in this house without it being on totally my responsibility. And part of that comes from them when they were little being with me and learning how to do things alongside of me. So that's going to be different for everyone. And you can look it up, the Eisenhower, like the president matrix. So you can look that up for yourself and then decide even from your brain dump how those things fit into that category. Scheduling family time and hobbies. I don't think that we should give up every hobby and every fun thing that we like to do. Do I think there are times in our business where we limit that or eliminate it for a short time? Absolutely. When we're going for a big rank, we have 2 new business builders ready to roll. Like, are we reading our fiction book for 2 hours a day? No. Are we reading our fiction book for 10 minutes maybe before bed? Sure. Right? Um, are we ever giving up family time even during a big push? No, because we do have to eat. And so you are going to sit down and eat and have that time with your family. So these priorities, these like, yes, high importance, our family time, it can ebb and flow a little bit, but the regular normal schedule is that you have scheduled family time and you are sticking to that. Setting firm boundaries with your job. So if you're working and you work over your time that they're paying you, then you're working for free. There's no, I've been in out of PT school long enough and worked so many different areas. Like that isn't a reward sticker. It honestly isn't. And when you are giving your time for free, then there's no reason for employers to find other people to come and help carry that load either, right? And I'm not talking like, okay, if I spend 5 more minutes on this, I'm going to have this task done and then I don't have to think about it all night. That makes sense. I'm talking about staying for 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 hours long extra. There has to be some boundaries with your work schedule to not just give them time. And there might have to be firm boundaries in other areas of your life too. You can examine that. don't try to do everything for yourself at home, like really learning to delegate. And my oldest, poor girl, she's always gone for sports and stuff. And so her job every day is to put away the clean dishes. And I feel bad that she doesn't get a lot of rotation in that, but that's what something she can do to contribute that we don't need done to make dinner or we don't need done to eat dinner or whatever. Like she can, that can be done later in the evening. It can be done if she's late for a cross country meet or something and comes home after dinner. Like it's something that she can still contribute to. And my kids all know how to clean a toilet, all know how to clean a bathroom. Sometimes they need reminders to make sure they're doing it all the way, but they can do it. Um, and creating meaningful micro moments. So I really liked this. Like maybe this is just sitting for 10 minutes and enjoying a cup of coffee or making your pink drink and sitting outside for 10 minutes or sitting now that it's getting colder. I don't know, but sitting somewhere for 10 minutes and just enjoying that moment and thinking of all the things that you're grateful for and thinking of your dream again and maybe just spending 10 minutes in prayer, but creating these small, it doesn't have to be like a spa day to be refreshing to our day. It can be something simple like that. We should have no phone time. So dinner time, meal times, no phone times. There should be other times a day, no phone times. And I have definitely deleted Instagram and Facebook from my phone because I use my phone a lot for, I'm going to talk about it, like different lists and the calendar and whatever. And so then you pick it up to like call the doctor, and all of a sudden you're like distracted by this notification or this or that. And I have deleted those apps off my phone and then just put them back on when I'm ready to do my plexus work. Um, Sometimes we have to retrain our brain, right? Uh, I also really, I was remembering this, there's something called tiger hours. And this is like, I gotta look the time. Okay, 6 minutes. We can do this. Tiger hours are this time of day when you're most alert and productive and energetic and just ready to like hit the ground running, right? And that's different for everyone. And so that is not the time that you're cleaning your toilets and folding laundry and washing dishes. Like, no. That is the time when you are sending your voicemails and getting excited and following up with your new business builder and talking to your potential new business builders, just talking to those people you're excited to talk to and get this exposure of the business or whatever. Um, Following up with your customers so that you are like excited for them and can say, tell me about your dosages, what's going on. Oh, I saw you guys had homecoming. How was it? Like you are doing that sort of work when you need a high energy. You can fold towels, laundry, whatever household task pretty much when you're dead tired and you can still get it done, right? Like you just can. And so saving those like mundane, whatever tasks for when you're not in your tiger hour is a really good hack. Like don't waste your energy time doing household chores. Um, there was that video that Shelly, Leah, Jen, Jamie, I believe the four of them, different planning systems, using a planner, using the Google apps and tasks and things. Look back at that and figure out a system of keeping track of your people that you're talking to, keeping track of your IP that's going to work. Maybe print IPA sheets and print 30 of them, and then you write on it every single day. Maybe shrink it down and do half top and bottom of a page and flip it over and you got two more, right? Four per page, like 4 days per page. Figure out what's going to work for you and then be disciplined in doing it. If I don't have my planner with me, and I try to keep my planner with me, but if I don't, I will, like, if I message people, I take screenshots of the chat and then I can like pull up those and then write those names in my planner. That way I don't have to scroll through Messenger to find them or whatever. They're right on my phone. I do that too when I'm like, ooh, I should really talk to so and so. And now my kids are getting in the car. Screenshot, okay. Um, Using Google Tasks, it's an app, I guess you would say. And I love the Google Tasks because I will be like, oh, what do we need from Costco? And so I start a Google Task. I have my birthday list of things I want for myself. I have a list of people that I want to help go silver. I have who I'm inviting to a messenger party. I have lists of, my reach out list for the month. I've done it for that. I mean, I've done different things with it. And then I've also taken like, okay, gift ideas for each of my kids, gift ideas for my husband, gift ideas for other family members. So when I think of something or my mom's like, oh, I wish I had, then I can go into Google Task and put it in there and then I can remember, right? You can use that for so many things, just as a reminder to yourself, lists for your IPA, whatever that looks like. But I love it for lists instead of writing sticky notes, and then I have sticky notes all over the place, which I love to cross off and like complete a list and throw it out too. Don't get me wrong, that's satisfying in itself. But if I want a running list that I'm not going to lose, I use Google Task. And then consider where you are in your business, what your goals are, but using a CRM system. So it's like a client relation management system. I've never found a free one. There used to be a free version of Dough. There was a version of Dough we paid for. And now I know Christy McDade is offering that and it's not crazy expensive. It's like $20 a month. So consider using that. I've used a CRM a couple of times, Dough, and I used another one for a short time. Like it's okay if you want to use a tool like that and invest in your business like that, because we pay nothing for our business. We just have our business, right? We buy our own products. So anyway, we're running out of time. But the other thing that I wanted to remind you is if you're a stay-at-home mom and you're in that bucket, if you decide to get up before your kids, which I do recommend because I've lived through a lot of stages of life, right, with kids, I do recommend getting up before your kids. But you know what? If you don't, and that doesn't work for you or you don't like it, then don't do it. But then you're still figuring out how you're going to get yourself into a system that works for you for the day, right? I'm not here to judge and say you have to do it this way to be successful. There's tips that people that have gone before, right? That have had the kids and done the things and that does help. But if you choose not to do that, that's fine. You can still figure out how to get your day going and be strong in that. Maybe you don't have, maybe you need to work on getting buy-in from your husband. Maybe that's not working. Maybe he's like, that doesn't mean you can't be successful in this business. It really wasn't until I was Emerald and it was either on the stage or in Hawaii, like one of the two, but basically at the same time frame. And my husband's like, oh, she's really good at this. And I like these trips, right? Like it was honestly Emerald, you guys. And you might have to channel your inner Elizabeth and be like, no, I am going to do this, right? I mean, I was there for my family. I'm a good wife. I'm a good mom. Like it wasn't like I'm like, nope, I'm only doing Plexus and you guys are doing everything else. No, like you just figure it out, right? And so you may not get that buy-in and you just might have to be strong and stick with it even without that support. So anyway, that is essentially what I had for you. I had like two more things, but I can put them in the comments of the post and we can go from there. So thanks so much, guys. I'm so glad you could get on.